Hello everyone, today we're diving into a story from DC Comics, where the Ultimate Universe is entering the final chapter of the Absolute Superman era. Among the three giants of this universe, Absolute Superman stands as the ultimate symbol, and a completely new version of the universe is beginning to unfold. On a planet located 9 million light years from Earth, bathed in the light of a red sun, there exists a highly advanced and complex civilization. This is a never-ending city, home to the most cutting-edge scientific research centers, the oldest legal institutions, gardens nurtured by technology, and power plants fueled by lava with extreme efficiency. The inhabitants here are towering beings composed of solar crystal, like living supercapacitors. Their social hierarchy is rigidly structured, with the population divided clearly into 36 distinct classes. The ruling class is an alliance of scientists, those who call themselves saints, carrying boundless pride in their knowledge and progress. They wear a blazing sun emblem on their chests, symbolizing their unquenchable passion and limitless ambition. In the middle are the administrative managers, and at the bottom are millions of laborers, branded as poor, unskilled, and ignorant, considered beneath contempt. They bear the S symbol on their chests, viewed as a mark of shame. But Kyle, a worker born into the lowest class, always remembered his parents' teachings. We are children of the sun. Be proud to be workers, the ones who build the world with their own hands. The S symbol is the emblem of the Man of Steel far from the city. In the arid Redlands, Kyle and his wife Lana are helping an old farmer repair his harvester today. The farmer sorrowfully shares how erratic weather patterns and fierce gemstone storms have been wreaking havoc while his farm suffers from a prolonged drought. Left with no other option, he had to pay out of pocket to hire a weather unit to generate artificial rain. At a cost of 3,000 credits, a staggering sum. Lana, surprised, responds, 3,000 credits? I could build you a rainmaker for that kind of money. But the old man chuckles. And then what? When you get arrested for unauthorized science, who's going to fix my machines? He knows Lana is the only one left who still knows how to repair old models. In the end, with her skilled hands, Lana gets the harvester running again. Deeply grateful, the old man insists on giving her a basket of comb, a fruit that Joe absolutely loves. Speaking of Joe, today was also the day her husband, Kyle, went to work in the mines alongside his father, Joel. As Lana glanced toward the mine, a sudden uneasy feeling rose in her chest. And right at that moment, the long-awaited rain finally began to fall. Intelligent robots had generated low-altitude rain clouds, and within seconds, a heavy downpour swept across the parched land. The old farmer urged Lana to hurry inside and stay dry, but she remained still, arms outstretched, savoring each icy drop. This was the taste of technology, of $3,000 science. Standing in the rain, Lana was suddenly flooded with memories. From a young age, she had stood out for her sharp intellect, always top of her class and hailed as a true prodigy, an emerging star in the scientific world. That was until the day she bravely penned an article criticizing the Scientific Union's conservatism, opposing their refusal to fund interplanetary exploration programs. From then on, she became a thorn in the side of the system. Labeled a rebel, Lana was banned from every scientific institution and forced into manual labor at just 9 years old, her dream of becoming an astronaut extinguished. Meanwhile, back at the mining site, Lana's father-in-law, Jor-El, had just hit the emergency alarm, initiating a full evacuation of the area. Despite geological charts showing no signs of landslides or flooding, several miners reported hearing strange cracking sounds beneath the rock. As the senior geologist, Joel was dispatched to investigate. Just as he approached a cavern filled with red solarstone, a powerful energy crystal, the mine supervisor stormed in, berating the workers and accusing them of laziness. He scoffed at Joel, pointing at the emblem on his chest. "Just a worker, and you think you can interfere?" Joel didn't argue. Calmly, he requested the mine be shut down for safety inspection. The supervisor refused, threatening to sue and fire him. Joel's story wasn't much different from Lana's. He too had once had a promising future. Back when he was a science student, he had warned during his graduation speech that if the Scientific Union prioritized profit over environmental safety, it would inevitably lead to global disaster. That warning got him expelled from academia and demoted to labor status, wearing the same emblem society deemed inferior. And right then, Joel's warning came true. A violent tremor rocked the entire mine. Beneath their feet, the solarstone veins began to fracture, splitting into jagged fissures. A plume of green smoke erupted from the ground. A radioactive cloud was spreading fast. The mine supervisor, who had just been arrogantly shouting moments earlier, was incinerated by the radioactive surge. Before he could finish his sentence, reduced to a charred husk in an instant. Joel, panicked yet determined, did everything he could to escape the collapsing mine. But he had no idea this was merely the beginning of a chain of destruction beyond imagination, heralding the downfall of the very system that had cast aside people like him and Lana. The memory fades, time shifts to the present, 3 days ago in Brazil, a company called Lhasa Road hired local villagers to extract asbestos, a material classified by the World Health Organization as one of the top cancer-causing substances. The company provided no protective equipment, simply issuing the command, "Keep digging." Days later, an asbestos snowstorm descended from the mine onto the nearby residential area, contaminating the entire landscape. Outraged, the workers took up shovels and wrenches to protest. They were met by mercenaries labeled as peacekeepers, armed with guns, yet claiming to bring order. Lhasa Road declared that if the workers completed their contracts and uncovered diamonds, each would receive a 300 credit bonus. And so, having already sold their souls, many returned to the mine, thinking, "We're in too deep already, might as well earn something for the family." But when they got back, they noticed something strange. The carts were overflowing with diamonds, yet the crushers had never been used. After a brief exchange of glances, the workers decided to play dumb, silently wheeling the carts of diamonds away. Some began to believe this was the work of an Omega, a figure of miracle and myth. João, one of the workers, recalled the party the night before, following the failed protest. He had seen a lone young man there, hair unkempt, wearing a hood and strange blue reflective glasses. When João approached and asked his name, the young man simply replied, "I don't have a name anymore." João invited him to join the party, not just that, but to become part of the workers' family. But the young man looked down and whispered, "I've seen many places, many factories, much injustice. How can you be sure you know the true nature of this world?" Without hesitation, João answered firmly, "The true nature is fighting for what's right." But the other's eyes held a sorrowful, almost pitying look as he replied quietly, "But what if it's not?" Before João could say another word, the stranger abruptly turned and left. João, confused, called after him, "Aren't you working the mine too? Where are you going in the middle of the night? Who are you?" Now he had the answer. That young man, the one without a name, was their true family, the one who brought the miracle. But just then, a peacekeeper launched a brutal kick, sending João crashing to the ground, blood spilling. The soldier then pulled a knife and pressed it to João's throat, snarling, "You think we're stupid? Diamonds falling from the sky? Whoever broke the rules, step out now. Lhasa Road doesn't feed useless cattle." Moments later, a convoy of the company's armored trucks stormed into the village, surrounding the warehouse where the stranger was resting. The previous night, he had stayed up digging non-stop, depleting all the solar energy from his body, and was forced to remain there to recharge. In his restless dream, he saw himself, his past self, back when he still had a name, ideals, and before the world had changed. An AI alarm blared, pulling him from sleep. The enemy was closing in. Emergency protocols engaged, forcing him to awaken. Lines of code scrolled across the screen. New name, Kair. In an instant, Kyle, now Kair, unleashed his power. None of the peacekeepers could react in time. One blazing punch shattered the armored vehicle's shell, causing a fiery explosion that tore it apart like an airstrike. The company's entire military arsenal was reduced to ashes. Amid the flames rising from the smoldering wrecks, a lone figure stood tall, surrounded by panicked peacekeepers. Only now did everyone truly see who he was, a warrior clad in green armor, no cape, bearing a blazing red S on his chest, not a mark of shame, but the symbol of the Man of Steel. Then, a storm of bullets rained down from every direction, ripping through the sky. But Kyle, Kair, remained still, his body radiating a blinding glow like a living flame. He didn't strike back. Instead, he whispered to Saul, the AI companion, "If I fight back, will they survive?" Upon receiving a nod of confirmation, Kyle launched his fist. Peacekeepers were flung like ragdolls. Yet more troops poured in, better armed, more aggressive. Saul warned. Lhasa Road's weapons were now fused with alien technology, no longer mere munitions, but something alive. With his solar energy nearly depleted, Kyle was urged to retreat immediately. But Kyle did not retreat. "I've traveled across Earth, through every factory, every mine. I've seen thousands treated like animals. I can't turn back. Not this time." And with that, he shot forward like a red streak, rescuing people as he screamed in agony, "It's all my fault. Let me make it right." João, the worker who had once invited him into their family, recognized that familiar look in his eyes, but before he could act, alarms blared across the area. A bolt of lightning struck Kyle, bringing him to his knees. It was an attack from one of the company's drones. Moments later, Lhasa Road's special forces arrived with orders for direct action. Visual data from the battlefield turned chaotic. Kyle's face was obscured, seemingly shielded by a living armor that defied recognition. Another explosion erupted. Heat vision, from his eyes, and awakened power, destroyed the entire fleet of drones. But when he turned his sights on the soldiers, his enhanced perception told him the truth. They were still human. Kyle stopped, bowed his head, and forced himself to lower his energy output, his body engulfed in flames. Saul, the loyal AI, pleaded with him, "My mission is to protect you, the last blood of House L. You must escape. There are worlds that cannot be saved." Yet Kyle still refused to give up. The civilians had been evacuated. He nodded and replied, "Yes, I'm weakened, but I still can't leave." Suddenly, a special agent named Thuram appeared and shackled Kyle with an energy suppression device. He couldn't resist. On the other side, a gun was pressed against his head, and for the first time, someone spoke his name aloud. Superman! The scene cuts to the western US desert, where Lhasa Rhodes' secret lab is analyzing data on Superman. At the center, a scientist with an exposed brain, wired to machines, stares intently at the feed. He grins wickedly. "New toy. Not bad. Where did you come from?" The screen zooms in. On a desolate farm, Kent Farm. No one lives there anymore. The Kents have vanished. The land now belongs to Lhasa Rhodes. The story closes with a dream. Many years ago, Lana returned home after a rainstorm. Suddenly her husband Joel came back, his entire body covered in radiation burns. He muttered nonsense, eyes haunted. "We can't tell anyone. Have to be sure. Must warn the world." He screamed before collapsing. Lana tried to calm him, reminding him their son was safe. Little Kyle appeared with his pet dog, sensing something was wrong, and ran into his parents' arms, seeking warmth. In that fleeting moment, the whole family held each other tight, oblivious to the world exploding around them. And in the distance, a cracked stretch of land spewed a green, radioactive cloud into the sky, a harbinger of the catastrophe just beginning. And that wraps up the first chapter of the Absolute Superman saga, the beginning of the rise of the three giants in the Absolute Universe. How did you feel about it? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, follow, and support my future creations. See you in the next episode.